Hello, Al Pals. This is Big Al. Welcome to Big Al Presents my thoughts on Marvel Studios' Hawkeye, the series that just finished up on Disney Plus right before Christmas. Had a chance to watch all the episodes and wanted to share my thoughts on them. Before I go any further, though, there will be some spoilers ahead, so consider yourselves warned. Hawkeye was an excellent series. And I went into it with a little bit of trepidation because both WandaVision and Loki ended on such bad notes. The last couple of episodes in WandaVision and the last episode of Loki, because of the new multiversal villain that they introduced in Loki, just left bad taste in my mouth for both series. So I was a little worried about Hawkeye, but thankfully it paid off. Every episode is fantastic. The story is excellent. The characters are well done. Now, I will say I don't know many of these characters from the comics, so your mileage may vary as to how well you think the characterizations were. But I think all the actors that were involved in the series did a great job. Marvel knows how to do action, and this series, again, proves that point. They do it so well. The special effects were done wonderfully, especially when it came to Hawkeye's trick arrows, which got featured several times during the series to great effectiveness. And it had what the Marvel universe has always been known for since Iron Man. It was a great combination of drama, action, humor, everything. And I know a lot of people have some issues with so much humor in the Marvel universe. I think in this show it kind of worked though. Uh, but overall, I really, really loved the series Hawkeye. And I'm going to talk a little bit more as I go through some of the characters that I really wanted to kind of highlight. The first being, of course, Hawkeye himself, Clint Barton, played wonderfully by Jeremy Renner. Hawkeye at this point, of course, has entered a different part of his life. He is really looking forward to finally settling down with his family, wants to leave all this behind. But he runs into Kate Bishop, played perfectly, I thought, by Haley Steinfeld. I don't know how Kate Bishop is done in the comic books, but I loved the Kate Bishop that has been introduced into this show. I liked that they showed her motivation for becoming a hero, and that was seeing Hawkeye in action during the Battle of New York, as we saw in the original Avengers film, and seeing a normal guy facing this overpowering enemy. And she took inspiration from that and kind of molded her life around that. And I really liked the way they portrayed that. And Haley Steinfeld and Jeremy Renner had excellent chemistry together. And their scenes were excellent mentor mentee, uh, or mentor and student, however you want to say it, type of scenes. And although a little begrudgingly on Barton's part, so there was that not only did Haley Steinfeld have great chemistry with Jeremy Renner, but she had great chemistry with Florence Pugh, who plays, of course, Yelena, who is Natasha's sister. And if you saw Black Widow, you know that she's kind of being given the Black Widow mantle in this case, and she enters as a very angry woman trying to avenge what she thought Hawkeye did to Natasha, uh, and giving her the opportunity for it. She was hired to kill Hawkeye, but she had her own reasons for doing it anyway. But before they get to that final fight between Yelena and Hawkeye, she has some wonderful scenes with uh, Kate Bishop's character. And these two, I would love to see a team up between Kate Bishop's Hawkeye and Yelena's Black Widow. I think that would be a wonderful series. They were funny together. Were there was great action during their scenes, and I think it would be a very effective series. Um, Also in the show was Vera Farmiga playing Eleanor Bishop, Kate's mother, who ran a very lucrative security firm. And you kind of find out she's not the nicest person in the world, and she's kind of also found herself in with the wrong people, one of which I'll talk about in a moment. And also in the show, Tony Dalton playing uh, Jacques Duquesne, who I believe is a character in the comics called the Sword Master. I might have that wrong, but uh, his character was very interesting, and I liked the way the actor played him. You kind of think he's a bad guy throughout most of this series, but he's really just a guy who's kind of oblivious to a lot of that's going on around him, and he's so full of himself that that kind of takes up all uh, his thought processes. And I just thought the way he was portrayed was great. So he's a fun character, and I hope we do get to see him again. Also returning is the lovely Linda Cardellini as Clint's wife, Laura Barton, who has a few little secrets revealed about her, but I love that you see their relationship, even though it's done mostly by the phone, except for the first episode and part of the last. And you see how much Clint just would really love to be with her and his family. And I like that she is very supportive of him, where she didn't have to be. She could have been up, they could have written her as being the upset wife that her husband's off doing something again and ignoring the family at Christmas time. But they didn't, because she has a history. She knows exactly the kind of sacrifices that being a hero demands. And I thought that was done very effectively. Another hero that they have introduced from the comics is Echo, uh, aka Maya Lopez, played by actress Alaqua Cox. She is a deaf commander of a group of guys called the Tracksuit Mafia, a bunch of Russians who are kind of the mafia's muscle going around, who themselves are they're an odd bunch, and a lot of their scenes are done for comedic relief and maybe a little too over the top with it, but they were kind of enjoyable. But Echo herself is a very interesting character. She has a great arc in this, and she finds herself realizing that her enemy is not Ronin, which is Hawkeye's alter ego, who you find out he killed her father uh, because he was into something bad. But she finds out that she has been manipulated and her father was used to do bad things by the character that I am so glad that Marvel Studios has brought in to be a part of this universe. Kingpin, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, played perfectly by Vincent D'Onofrio. The only bad thing I have to say is I wish they didn't wait to the last episode to bring him in. He is the personification of Kingpin. No one else, in my opinion, can play this part right now. It's his, and if they ever do Kingpin again, it has to be D'Onofrio. And okay, I did warn you about spoilers. They do kind of leave it at the end, you thinking that he might be dead, but there's no way they're going to kill Kingpin. He is too great of a villainous asset for them to do away with. And if they do, that's just it's idiocy. That's the only thing that could be said. But he is just portrayed wonderfully, and I still think D'Onofrio should have gotten Emmy nominations from his days on Daredevil. And speaking of Daredevil, now that they have introduced Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock in Spider-Man No Way Home, if they keep the Echo series involved with the situation going on with Kingpin, what a great way to introduce Daredevil back into the fold. Maybe bounce off for another series. I I don't know. I can only hope. But overall, Hawkeye, 4 stars. I enjoyed it from the first moments of episode 1 through the credits of the last episode. There is a bonus credit after that, which is quite amusing and kind of toe tapping if you really are into that kind of a thing. But a great series overall, and I think it's a great series to watch at Christmas time because the soundtrack is filled with great Christmas music. It's just fantastic, and I really enjoyed it. And I know a lot of people have given up on the MCU. That's fine, but for those who are still watching, I definitely think that this is a series that you will really, really enjoy. And that's all I've got to say about Hawkeye. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have subscribed to my channel, Big Al Presents. More reviews, rewatches, and rambles in the weeks and months to come. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And please share. Get the word out there that Hawkeye is actually a really good series. That's a lot of fun. And that being said, whatever you are watching, I hope you're enjoying it, even if it's not Hawkeye. And until next time, I hope everyone takes care, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.